Okay, thank you. And now we'll see a small one, modulation. Just before going to start our real original class, I will just say a small introduction with some 5 minutes. Modulation. So modulation means changing or varying the parameters of or characteristics of carrier signal with respect to message signal. So this is the basic definition of a modulation. Okay, changing the characteristics of the waveform. Which waveform? Carrier waveform with respect to the message signal, or the same thing we can call it as a modulating signal, or we can also call as baseband signal. So now we have seen what is this carrier signal is having. C of t is equal to AC cos omega t, or we can say 2 pi ft plus pi. Okay, so based on this, by changing this amplitude we will get AM. By changing the frequency of this carrier waveform signal we will get the FM, frequency modulation, and by changing this phase of the signal we will get the phase modulation. So here frequency and phase all are almost same modulation techniques, and here amplitude modulation. Now we are studying about this amplitude modulation. We have seen last class. So the power, what is the power relationships in this amplitude modulation? What is the carrier power, sideband powers, how to calculate the total power, and remaining time domain AM waveform and frequency domain AM waveform. And also we have seen some of the problems, and if it is if we are modulating this only single message signal, that is single tone modulation, and if you are using a multi-tone modulation techniques, means more than one message signal if you are using, that is nothing but a multi-tone modulation. Multi-tone message signals if you are giving, that is multi-tone modulation. That also we have seen. Based on that some problems we have seen. Now today we are going to see this AM. In this AM amplitude modulation, what is the generating methods or generation of AM waveform, and the next one is detection. So how many methods are there? This generating of these AM waveforms. So one is square law generation, square law modulator. We can say it modulators. That generators we can say it as modulators. So square law modulator and switching modulator. Square law modulator and switching modulator. Here detection we have three methods, same as square law modulator. Square law detector, square law detector, and next one is envelope detector. And the next was synchronous detector. So in detection methods we have these three types. We'll see in detail the coming this class only. And this square law and envelope detector is we can also called as non-synchronous detectors, because this we are using as a synchronous detector. What are the non-synchronous detector? If there is a chance to get a question, okay. So we can also call this square law detector and envelope detectors. Both are called as non-synchronous detectors. And here the first one is square law modulator, switching modulator. We'll see the square law modulator. First we'll see the generation techniques and then we'll go for detection techniques. Today we will see in detail about these two techniques. Okay. The first one is square law modulator.